I just heard from Rabbi Blau, sein gesunden Stadel. He was raised in Beis Yosef, Beis Medrash. Rabbi Blau told me he remembers Rav Nekritz and Rav Shlomo Figa. They used to give shmuzin regularly. There was nobody there. 2, 3 people. That was it. They got a 4th person. Oh, how nice. And they couldn't care less. Yeah, a lot of people, a little people, they couldn't care less. Number 1. Number 2, did the guys like what they said? They couldn't care less either. They really couldn't care less. You got a lot of people, a little people, they like me, I said, well, good. You go out of your mind. People go meshuggah because of that. Now, I'm working on that. It's a thing. You know, you gotta work on it and hack on it. The main thing is limud musa, that makes fun of this stuff. They spent a lot of time learning musa. You know, they actually didn't drink on Purim, and they actually were more happier than all the guys who do drink. It's a fact. Because they learned lots of chayvus halvavus and these concepts. All the atzvus comes from looking for covet and what do people say. You know how much stress it is to be a rav? Or a manayil? Give me a break. Who has more kids than me? They're leaving my place? They like my place? I've got the good guys, I got the bad guys. They all go meshuggah, even the best of them. They all suffer. People, it's all covered. Yeah, but it's covered. That's all it is. My children are covered. My parents, everything that goes on in your life, it's all your wife. She yelled at you. She likes you. She doesn't. The kids like you. They don't like you. It's all covered. Silly, stupid covered. Wasted energy. Worried about Hevel Havolim. Now, I had a covered issue recently. I was sent a ticket to go to out-of-town place. And I had a lot of stress. I wouldn't do it. If not for Novandig, I would never do it. Who wants to go there? They send you a ticket. They are expecting mileage. They want you to speak. They want you to boom and boom. And especially this particular place wanted me to follow the act of someone else that was there. And they know I have a connection. They're hoping I'll be like him. Oh boy, just what I like. You know, you can make him a sugar. Who wants to get involved in this hot soup? Go get someone else. Don't bother me. You have your expectations, and every move I make, I'm self-conscious enough without that. Now I need you for my ego, to tease my ego, but good. Every move I make, what are they saying? Was it good? Was it good? Was it good? My wife kept asking me, was it good? Was it good? This speech, another speech, how to make speeches all over the place. How many people were there? How many people? How many people were there? How many people? How many people? How many people? Did they walk out in the middle? Did they fall asleep? Did they look interested? Did they sit with their mouths open or mouths closed? Or did they look bored? You got out of your mind with this. And this is a life. Okay, I have this. Everybody has this in different ways. It's the number one test of every human being. Now what I did here, as soon as I went there, I says, I am not going for covet here. I mean, I'll run after covet too, don't worry. Whatever the other name. But it's not an equal by me. I don't need this. I'm going for the Rabbeinu Shalom. I'm not getting involved in how well I did. I'm not getting involved in that stuff. There are people who are trained like this. They have a happy life. They simply don't care. There are people who can spend a lifetime in an island and they never have a minion. You know, they do these things all over. And they're fine because they have a chinuch. Everything's a chinuch. You have a chinuch. That covet is baloney. You'll be happy forever, else, boy, you in trouble. The ladies, a lady, how does my house look? How does the neighbors look? How are the neighbors' kids dressed, and mine dressed, and this one dressed, and this one, how this one looks, and how when you gained weight, and you didn't gain, and you did, they go out of, you know what stress people have? All covered. You should know, loans, when you owe money, and Nobhardok has taught me that's also covered. When you owe money, that's also covered. Because what's the guy going to say? You don't have the money. What do you care? Of course, you have to try, but if you can't, it's not happening. So all the pain that you're going through is all the covered. Anyway, when I went there, I said right away, I did great, and that's final. I still didn't ask anybody. I don't intend to. I don't know if I ever asked anybody his opinion of my speech. Never! Reb Chaim Zatzal told me, you want to do a prat? Ask how they like your speech. You're making a fool out of yourself. Who cares? You have to live for the age. So what if it didn't come out good? So toiv pam b'tzar memea b'li tzar. How much schar you get if it didn't come out good? Now I got to tell you some more stuff. First of all, covered, we got it. A public enemy, number one, destroys a person's life. And Nobhardok was so happy. So a member of Oizer was so happy because he was out of that. Reb Gershom was so happy he couldn't care less. There's so much stress and pain because people worry about COVID and stop they worry. Panusa, I had a very I had physical pain. That was a great concern. Oh boy. My wife still doesn't know about it. I don't talk to my wife. All I talk to her is how cute the eneklach are, or how good the kugel was. That's all I have to do with my wife. Or avart on bטחון. That's different. Hashgacha, talk and learning. That's different. Or she wants to talk to me, I'll listen. That's different. She needs to talk, I'll listen. But what are you going to tell your wife? Your latest problem? The latest thing, the guy that started up with you, what do you? Kach kibalti. One meshuggah in the house is enough. You don't need two. You don't have to tell all your problems. You don't be meshuggah. You don't talk to your wife about nothing. Keep her happy. She has, don't tell her nothing. I did have. She doesn't know this. She mamish doesn't know it. I had. Scary business. Very scary. And it had good reason. I don't want to go into it. A physical thing, guy my age especially, You're finally caught up with all your friends that are kvetching all day about their physical problems. So now, I did not say a thing. To myself, I davened, and it got worse, and it got concerning, and now it's still, I got it, and it's not leaving, and it's there, it's a matzias, go fight with, something's wrong. I just thought about it today, just before I started speaking. Hey, it's totally gone. There's no zecher of it. There's not the slightest pain. Not the slightest. I'm clean. And I really had concern. It was very painful. I remember getting into the car. There's no zecher of it. I have been doing this all my life. My adult life, they taught me. Nobhardok, the Stipler said that if he would have addressed his aches and pains, he would have been in the other world a long time ago, because a doctor finds out what it is. It's your mind, by the way. You know what it really is? The more negative thoughts, the more you are going to create a situation. And they're going to zero in on it and show, look what you got. And then the scare skyrockets. And the more scared you are, the body does not enjoy being afraid. And the body seconds whatever you think, and it gets worse. And then you got a problem. You know, this can be a matter of life and death. The Stipler said, I saw this, Bachush. I saw how dangerous is negative thinking. The Stipler said he'd be in the other world a long time ago. He never went to a doctor. He ignored everything. How many Jungelite I have told, don't go to a doctor. Let's work this out ourselves. Let's stop and let's relax and watch it disappear. I told the guy once about COVID. He had all the symptoms of COVID. And he had an appointment with a doctor. He says, don't you keep that appointment. You're putting that off. Put it off. Watch. I gave him a bracha. In 3 days, all this, he had symptoms. He was in bed. He had exactly what they tell you. You have this, you got COVID. You have that, you got COVID. You got it all. And except when he came to Mendel. Mendel said, oh no, don't you go to the doctor. Hold. No, I let the guy have his option. If you do go, I told him how to do it, but he decided not to. I mean, I was very strong in that direction. He did not go to a doctor. In 3 days, there was no zecher of all his aches and pains. I don't know what he had, but the aches and pains disappeared. When you decide you have something, it sits on you and it says, now I'm going to tell you something do you know there are people who have midas problems, kind of type of COVID? I wouldn't even address that. I don't care. But it's terrible. Just have bטחון, it'll disappear. But it's becoming I was never like this. I have whatever kind type of COVID, gas. Look, depression, I don't care. You know how much power I don't care has? You know, I don't care can do to your body. Your body likes that. Sweet music. I don't care. I'm not getting involved. And learn bטחון that it'll disappear. Learn bטחון that kinna will disappear, the type will disappear. Bטחון works for ruchnius. The Masbik says the main bטחון is in ruchnius. Don't be nispo. Don't sit on something and kvetch on it and worry about it. No, sir. Run away. Sure, Meida. I heard Rabbi Yaakov said, one of his Talmidim told me, sure, Meida, get out of that stuff. The mud pie. People love mud. But this is serious. But this is something I have to address. I told you what happened to the guy. He was sitting right here, right where you're sitting. He was there. By the way, guess where we're going in 2 weeks? We're going to Pesach. You want to be the Gabbai? Come along? That's it. We got 2 Gabbayim coming along. Listen to this. We are famous people already. We're going around the world. They're all going to hear about us. We're going to start a movement. That's it. Think I'm joking? I always talk big. Words are magic. You know, I was talking about this for years, and I'm not going anywhere. I keep talking, and now suddenly, boom. It's the 3rd opportunity. I have another one. Silver Spring wants me too. Because I can't do it these days. But now I got Pesach. Rabbi Jaffe got me. Pesach wants us. Day school to have just what we're looking for. They help people that need a boost. And in your Shema, and you know, to be Makar. First Shabbos, that's the most I can do for the moment. Maybe she'll have Naches. Anyway, we're talking. What are we talking about again? Who? Sure, man. Get out of the woods. Get out of the mud. Don't talk about it ever. Never. I didn't say a word about this. It was very painful, and it was getting worse. I daven. I say, hey, you'll take care of me. It disappeared. Now look. There was a reason for it. I could sense the reason also, because there's something else in my body that's a little like this, and it makes sense that this should follow, and it all fits in. You know, it was, you got an issue, booby, go to the doctor. One doctor in Shemayim, and there's no, I just thought about it today, because the Yitzhar of not appreciating things, and not chopping the positives is so strong. You don't even chop that you just lost. It was major, and it's gone. I feel like $1 million. I have absolutely no pain whatsoever. I don't have a zecher of it. It's like it never existed. I gave it the silence treatment. When you ignore something and you say you don't exist, slowly but surely it doesn't exist. With everything, don't sit on a boo-boo like a baby. Don't worry, the worry, nothing to fear but fear itself. Like this, I feel like I'm in the book. I should be so thankful. But my mind, the mind of a person, I'm not going to put myself down. The mind of a person thinks only of what, of course, ruchnius. I've got to improve myself. I'm into that. I'm doing tshuva on that. What improve? What improve? What's with this? What do you want me to do? I'm good? This guy? What, I got to press? 3? One second. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Anyway, Rabbi say, there's so many thoughts in your head. I said the wrong thing to him, and I did, leave me alone. I throw them all in the garbage. I don't care what. None of those thoughts. That's bטחון. Sit for an hour and learn Sefer on bטחון. Half an hour, you feel like $1 million. Where he tells you to think of Nisim, it gets you to think differently. And you'll be so happy and get rid of all those stupid thoughts. You don't work on simcha, work on not worrying. You're gonna work on simcha. No, if it works, work on not worrying. I don't worry. Just get out of my, hey, get lost. I don't want you here. Worry, Aleph. Worry, Bays. Oh, cut it out. But this is really something to worry about. I said, get lost. Did you hear me? I don't want to hear from you. I don't even want to fight with you. Just fly a kite. That's the way I function like this all the time. You don't think I have worries? Oh, they're all over the place. Who cares? Buffoon. But this is really bad. It's really baloney. I'm a happy guy. You're not starting. You're not changing me. I'm at my core is delicious. Either it's going to change l'teva, or it's good the way it is. And if it's bad, that's also l'teva. I'm doing great. Who cares? I'm cold. It's sometimes hard for me to cry. I'll tell you something interesting. I was just on the phone yesterday. I had to do it. Lately I do it once in a while. I'm not such a good sympathetic ear. Oh no. Somebody gets on the phone, I bless them. You got nothing, Bubby. I told you, the guy that was here, the guy's 25. And he stopped learning for 1.5 years. He can't learn. He can't this, he can't that. And he's eating himself up alive, anxiety since he's born. He says, have a seat. We got a full house already. Where's the schnapps? Let's go. It's out there. Hey, Jack, where are you hiding, Jack? The guys are waiting for you. Jack, come on. It's Purim. Why don't you wake up and make some guys happy? You'll have a schus. I'm joking. There's nothing here. We don't have any. I have one left. We're going to have it. We have to refill. We'll get refill. We'll start. Okay. Now you're kind of an ear. You ever hear that? I look at Jack, and I'm all busy. It's done, Jack. You did the job. Sweet memories. Jack, you've turned me on before. Hey, Jack, everybody, see? It's Purim, guys! Get at him! Jump! Mach Freilach! It's Erev Purim. 2 others are Himmels Geshrei. You gotta dance in the streets! You know, in Novandi, they didn't drink. They were against it. I'm a wine crate. I was mainly have a chinuch for Reb Gershon. It's a different Novandi. Reb Gerson's Novandi has been described to me as very, very Hasidish with dancing and singing. Reb Weinkrantz had a different, I don't know. He didn't drink nothing. He didn't get lost. You want to be happy? Learn Chavis Havavas for a couple of hours. Watch the Simcha level. And they did it too. They loved it. They didn't even know what you're talking about. Oh, something bothering you? Get to the root. That's all covered. Learn Musa in a different world. a different world. What worries? What does he say and he think? You're losing it. You're not living with the sweetness of the it's so sweet. The ways of the Torah that doesn't go for Kinatayvakov. Who cares? And what you have Kinatayvakov, so what? I'm not a Malach anyway, so I'm not the Malach. I'm not the Tzaddik Hadar. I am. That's the real truth. But whatever, it just has to be temporary insanity. We'll be alright. Be positive, no matter what. Anyway, what am I talking about? So, where am I up to, guys?
25-year-old guy.
Who?
25-year-old guy.
I told the guy, my friend, you have no issue. I see it in your voice. I'm a chevra man. I see it. No, you see the way you just spoke to me a minute ago? Only normal guys talk like that. Wait a minute. You are very calm. Baloney! You're not a stressed guy. You have no stress. Once you saw some stress and you sit on it all day, so you got stress. You don't really have it. You're basically a calm type. And I brainwashed the guy. A week later, I get a phone call. What's with you now? I need a little boost. What happened? Oh, you gave me I never felt so good in my life. 25 years after I spoke to you, he davened Meyer. His whole Metzias turned around. Except a week later, I met this big, famous Askin. I don't know who it is. So, this big, famous Askin. And the Askin gets a hold of me. You can't do that. You have an issue. What? Mendel told you that it's misdiagnosed? Does Mendel know what he's talking about? You have an issue. You've had this since you're born. You've got to face. I'm sorry. You've got to do something about this. Mendel is irresponsible. Mendel is irresponsible. How dare he talk like this? It's irresponsible. He doesn't understand. You can't. You know what I told him? You like that guy? Go to him. You don't have to go to me. I got plenty of customers. You go to him? Go to him. You like this? Ask and go. Well, I'm not sure. Why are you not sure? Go. I don't mind. I'm not looking. I've covered till here. And I'm fine. We're still best friends if you go to him. Did he help you? No. What happened since you spoke to him? It got 10 times worse. And what did the guy tell you? You must see a therapist. Did you see a therapist? I saw about 6 of them. What did they do for you? Each one made it worse than the other one. Has 6 therapists throughout his life until he met this therapist over here who told him you have nothing, booby. And for the first time in his life, for a week, he felt good until he went to this guy. He still feels better than he used to. Kommt da rein, macht sich heimisch, Jack. Wat für euch, l'chaim. Anyway, I had another guy, Shalom Bayis. I don't know what to do with him. I'm going to tell you about Shalom Bayis in a minute. Oh boy, am I going to tell you about Shalom Bayis. 5 cases. 5 cases. 2 of them were sitting, most of them were on the phone. I says, put your wife on the phone for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I did this for 5 couples about 4 months ago. It happened, had a good kufa. I don't know what had Abish just sent me. Now, but all these 5 cases were, he did this, she did that, boom, 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 boom. Sounds like adults, have nothing to do with them. No, you're wrong. No, I don't know. You're no good here, They're immature. I don't know what to do with that. No, chas v'shalom. Chas v'shalom. I'm not so mature either. I'm Beshita, not mature. I don't hold from being mature. I'm a 4th grader for life. I'm locked into the 9-year-old mode for the rest of my life. My tummy didn't know me. I'm one of them. When I deal with adults, I'm always concerned. Did I say something inappropriate? for adults because I'm used to those guys. I'm joking. Anyway, but listen to this. So, one of them, he was sitting right there and his wife was over there, and he was a half an hour, most of them 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, I changed their lives forever, I promise you. In 10 minutes, I forced them to say positive, no buts, positive about Hosh. And tomorrow you do it yourself. I can't do it with you for I have too many phone calls. So you'll take care of it yourself, that's it. Lived happily ever after. 5 cases I had. One of them came from New York. The therapist told them, you must see Mendel once a month. They came back to see Mendel after a month. And it was going, okay, goodbye. After I got a phone call, we're back to square one. We're killing each other all over again. I says, listen to me. Keep me out of this. I hold it's Avodah Zarah. My methodology is also Avodah Zarah. It's not the Eibishter. It's my brainstorm, which is very choshev. To see positives big time, you can change everything. Because when you keep talking positive about a person, they have more energy. And then they'll do what you want them to do. If you knock them all the time, they get worse. They're losing their energy because they have no simcha. It's a car without gears. You keep hearing negative stuff. You're right, I'm no good. Goodbye. So you keep positive, they feel good. Now, the stuff that's no good will straighten out. I says, too much of me in there. Kip zaram, macht sich heimisch. Kip zaram, bei mir ist Pirem Hand. Ich wart nicht, sie sind Magdimen. Ich halt heint ist Pirem. Ganz Jahr Pirem, a ganz Jahr Friedrich. I'm not this. By me, it's a whole Purim. You make Purim loinus batlu. Purim has to be taken more serious than any Yom Tov in the world. Purim, even Yom Kippur is not as good as Purim. That's Purim is my day. I'm sorry. All year round, I'm a Hader. I mean, it's Purim all year round. Bashita, I do things all year round. Some people look at me. Who's that guy? What's he doing with that schnapps? Yes. Why don't you have schnapps? You know, I'm the kind of guy that I do things with a stoltz. I don't do things. Well, you got to be the same. No. I said no. Why are they pouring by you against you? I'm like, I look at them like they're a little cuckoo. Why aren't you making Purim all year round? You guys have problems. This is the way it's supposed to be, the way I do it. Purim a whole year. Instead of being machadish. Why aren't you? Anyway, so what happened to this guy? I saw no more. I don't want to be bothered with them. Then it's going to go off and on. They're going to hold it, then they're going to forget and kill each other. Married 20 years more, they're going to kill each other again. I says, keep away from my methodology business. I'm going straight to the Rebbeinu Shalom. No more. I held it was Avodah Zarah. My idea was Avodah Zarah. I have 2 such cases that I know be idea. They lived afterwards. They called a month later, new world without anything. Just it changed. I have a lot of cases of shalom bias. I don't know him, I don't know her. Their telephone. I give a bracha. A year later, they call shalom bias. I have cases, one after another. Imagine. One of them, I had one of the worst cases I had. I says, oh no, Abishter, that's it. The next day, suddenly, hey, how come my wife was nice? And she said, how come I got into your problem right after my bracha? And the bracha lasted a week until they went to the therapist. Then the therapist opened up the can of worms and let's sit on it. Now the guy keeps calling me and I sympathize with him, which is poison. I should never do that. Then you're making it real. You have to say, get out of this. And people, unfortunately, this guy, his wife texts him all day long. She calls him names. She's good at it. A nice word. I don't know if she knows how to do that. She's not in her. If you talk to her, she's so nice. But when it comes to him, bang! She wipes the floor with him, and he saves all those texts. He has McGill or something. Yeah, you got this one. This one 3 weeks ago. She said this to me. This she said yesterday. She says, look, if you love negativism so much, go enjoy yourself. You know, they'll live till 120 killing each other. You know, some of these guys, when they call me, I might sound a little bit funny. I says, why don't you take a gun and shoot her? I say things like that. But there's a guy who came to me. He's never what he goes through in his life. And I know, I'm talking to the wall. He is so negative that no, but it's still no good. No. Now you're trying to be positive. No, I hold it's no good. No, I hold. Okay, I tell him like this. So I see who I'm dealing with. He has a friend who schleps him to me. He thinks Mendel will save him. He doesn't know some cases are not. I tell him like this, listen, I got an idea. Which roof do you want to jump off? I got a few of them. Jump off this one. Go jump off the roof. It did something to him. It really helped him. He saw how, people are really, a friend of mine, his parents were killing themselves all their lives. They killed each other until he was nifta. They hated each other. Right after he was nifta, he goes over to his mother. Ma, now you'll finally be a mensch. You can remarry, and you'll be. How dare you talk like that? My husband was my life. I loved my husband. Did you hear that one? The son told this to me. And he don't chop that he also has these type of things. He don't chop that he has a certain, all right, he's doing better, I hope. I don't know. Anyway, certain people love negativism. Why take it away from them? They're having such a good time. Now I'm going to tell you something, what Bטחון can do. Listen to this story. A guy calls me up from Eretz Yisrael. He has his son. He was in yeshiva, he was pretty good. As soon as he got married, he likes his wife. No. And learning is over. That's like it didn't last too long. He realizes it's over. He's not learning. He says, he calls me up and he says, what should I do with him? He's sitting in my house. Instead of finding an apartment, he sits in my house with a baby, with my daughter-in-law, and the baby. He sits till 3 o'clock in the morning schmoozing with his wife. He likes her. No. And in the daytime, he's with her. Afternoon, they eat breakfast together, lunch together, supper together. I wonder what his wife thinks of this interesting husband. You don't see him opening a sefer. You don't see him davening, nothing. He's busy schmoozing. And he talks about, I don't know what. He just talks and talks and talks. It's all he does with his wife all day long. So the first thing I told him is, they're getting along? Oh, yes. So what are you worried about? They got shalom bias. It's successful marriage. What do you want? Be positive. I'm serious. They're happy. What do you care? So let them. Yeah, but tachas. I says, I guess you're right. And what did you do so far? He went to 3 Gedolei Yisrael. Big ones. I'm not going to say the names. Every one of them said, no hope. One of them said, I know that type. You're going to have to support him for the rest of your life. He ain't worth a penny. Then he checked up. In school, there was things that went on, and it was Mavar, the therapist said, that's him. That's the way he is. He ain't changing. He will never go to work to save his life. He calls me up, Mendel, what should I do? I said, you ever hear of the Eibishter? I say, Punkt verkehrt. Became this guy. He's a Rosh Yeshiva today. He has a Knakadigi Yeshiva. They love him to pieces. He's a super success. He's the extreme opposite of what he used to be. The Rebbe's Bטחון. You want to hear more of the Rebbe's Bטחון? Another guy comes over to me. He tells me, now you guys don't understand these things because you guys are not shvers. My friends are shvers and Elta Zaydas, and when the kids come for Yom Tiv, they have mixed feelings. Don't get this out to. I don't want too many people, but these are the facts. They love you, but when you leave, notice that they look somewhat alleviated? As soon as you leave, they're a little bit, like, we love you. Oh, yes, it was so good, the 8 o'clock, yes. And the shviga's there smiling, and she looks. You ever noticed where your shver and shvig are a little bit, when you're not looking, they suddenly, so good to see them leave. It was, we love you. Oh, yes, it was so good, such nachas. Oh. Especially since each one of the Adam has 10 kids each. And each kid is rambunctious. Each kid is mamish, not shayach. You can turn over the house. And the kids, no, but this is true. People who have relatives who are simply not neat. And when they come, it's a churban. The house is, it's not stam a churban, it's simply they're not neat. I know 2 such cases. They came running to me crying, I don't know what to do with this. I have to hire a special, and while they hit it, I said, Bטחון. 2 different people, 2 different families. I said, Bטחון. Both cases are today the neatest people you ever met. I said, don't you dare say anything to married people. Can you be a little neat? Go to him. You're not allowed to tell them anyway. Nowadays they'll crumble. You don't really like us. This is the last time I'm ever coming. You want to know stories? What I hear? What's going on between Shvers and Adamis? They live 2 out. You know how many cases I have? They live 2 blocks away. Don't say hello to us. We're off limits. My daughter, I loved her all my life. And my shved doesn't want no. And he has a control issue. You ever hear this stuff? It's coming out of my ears. He's narcissistic, whatever that means. Narcissistic. You ever hear that? It's a new stempel. I know a guy, I'm telling you, as soon as his daughter checked in, that separated, as soon as she found out the word narcissistic, she found out about her husband. He had his problems, okay, but she looked it up. And she found out all about what narcissistic means. I can't live with this guy. The books say he's kach v'kach. And she and all her relatives, to the sugya of narcissistic. It's over. Keep away, he's dangerous. And she cries to all her friends, I got a narcissistic. She was living 10 years with the guy until she found out what narcissistic means. Best thing is get yourself a good negative stempel to kill you. Narcissistic or OCD. Do you know what that means? Those guys. Anorexia. I know stories. All these names, OCD, ADHD, what are the big, this one I have a lot. What's his name? Bipolar. Used to be called Jekyll and Hyde. What was it called? Schizophrenia. Bipolar. There's names and names. They'll give you. Anybody want a stempel? Come. They'll give you a good stempel. You can live it. You can have it for the rest of your life. I happen to be narcissistic or I suffer from schizophrenia. Manic depressive. You ever hear that? You guys? Anyway. So once you get a stempel, you're dead. Your mom is dead. Get a good stempel. I gave myself a stempel a long time ago. Rosh Hashanah. I go the other way. Rosh Hashanah. You think it don't work? You know what's going on? Like they were running over to me. Mendel, I'm listening to you day and night. Is that true? They listen. I'm against, because I paskin. I go the other way. You have to go against me. Let's go the opposite extreme. You like these stempel? Let's try. Yeah, and stick to it. Don't care what people say. I went to this place out of town. Here's my gabbai. I got 2 of my gabbayim over here. They went along. I got covered in malachim. There were signs all over town. Tzaddik Bala. Yeah. Right? Weren't there signs? I'm joking. They're all talking about me. As soon as I came in, there was thousands of people. They were going wild over me. That's what happened. Watch, they're all going to believe me. It's already time. By the way, I said, by the way, I do want to tell you, was I good? Was I not? Listen to this. So my wife kept asking me, how was the speech? Was it good? Was it not good? It was great. You know me. It's done. Before I left, it was a success. It was a success. No, I don't bother me with details. I succeeded. They're all going wild over me. I know it. I know the matzah. Anyway, have to be realistic. Realistic. It's always good. Bטחון is the real emes. That's it. Anyway, I still didn't find out seriously until finally Shabbos. I finally found out how well I did. Somebody said, Mendel, I heard you a mamish gavali. I said, where'd you hear that from? That came from me. I started the rumor. I do this all the time. I don't waste no time for people to tell me how well I'm doing. I need you. You know my hat used to have? I don't have, I graduated. Rosh Kabah, that's it. Look up the hat. And you got all the answers. My crib sheets. I cheat. I'm not interested in people telling me how well I did. Who wants to be totally in das basabadagim? They know. They decided Mendel did good. Well, he said something. You know what I told the ladies? I told you? Oh, they wanted me to calm down the ladies. They told me in this place they have what? No good? What does that mean? I got it. You want me here? Or you want me to change the subject? Let's start up with the ladies. Can you please close that door so my wife shouldn't hear? Do you know that Rabbi Miller on Purim? I don't want to tell you what he said, but I heard this in the Chaim Lin. They were all talking about it. He got drunk, baloney. But as I haste this I did. And privately, I'll tell you what he said. You close that door so my wife shouldn't hear. That part, I remember this thing. And then he said something. I'm not getting him out. Anyway, don't start up with ladies. That's not nice. Anyway, so there were women over there who were, I was warned, you better, the ladies, don't play games. The ladies, and the ladies, women's liberation, they're not behind the machitza, it turns them off. We're second-class citizens. Okay. So make sure you take care of the ladies. I says, I'll take good care of them. I told them like this, and I meant it. I told them like this. It says by Parshas Truma that there was the kalat snua. Rashi says the front of the Mishkan, it came down the urios like a kalat snua. What's a kalat snua doing in the holiest place in the world? What are you doing here, ladies? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be. Then I said another thing. There's a Gemara in Shabbos that says the back of the Mishkan went down like a Rabbeinu Hirsch explains it like a stately woman who walks in the street and the stuff comes down, drooping to the ground with chshivas. That's the Kodesh HaKadoshim has a ladies' theme, the front and the back. Ladies, what are you doing in our Holy of Holies? This is the Holy Tabernacle. What are you doing in the tabernacle? A woman in the front, the back? So all we talk about is ladies? What's going on? Ladies belong at home. So the ladies are going sugar when it hit them. I says, now you know what the Holy Torah thinks of ladies? Now you know? So what's the answer? Well, that I'll discuss when I get back to Lakewood. But I guess you're getting the message at this point. They went berserk. I got feedback. Ooh, so you ain't get. Then I said the best thing in the world. Rabbi Sai, please, please don't mind if I'm a little bit too mundane, too materialistic, too much into Magushim, but I love this place. I meant it. You guys are so warm and sweet. You're Shemayim, the Midos. But please be Muslim. The food happens to be great. I hope you don't mind that I'm a little bit too much into that stuff. But that's how it's really good stuff. You guys know how to cook. And I know what good food is because my wife is the best cook in Lakewood. My wife was sitting there, by the way. She was sitting there. That's what I do for Shalom Bayis. But Rabbi, I do this. The ladies went crazy. You should have heard that. You ever notice by Yesheva Brachas, if you say something nice about your wife, all the ladies take it personal? You ever notice? You know, Chazal say, Noshim umais heim b'fnei atzmam. They're wrong. By the men, you praise him. All the guys don't take it personal. When you say one nice, that means he's on the ladies' side. He's a good guy. He's on the good list. Is that true? You don't see that all the time? They loved it. Anyway, it's a big Indian. The ladies, it's taka true. I have a lot to say about ladies. I wanted to say, I'll say this much, that the whole tzara between a yid and a guy is, how much shivas do you have for a lady? By a guy, a lady is an animal, mamish. It's a rachmanis. They have no respect to their women. This whole, it's a lack of respect. Respect means tznius. When no one sees you, kol kvuda vas melech panima. Tznius is respect. A lady who's a little not so tznius, she does not respect herself. Do you know that? Yes. When the Eibishter made a woman, every Eber he made, he said, Isha Tznuah, Isha Tznuah. That's what she's all about. She likes that. She doesn't like being a bum. They all do it, so she falls in. She doesn't like that. She's choshev, a lady, Eishes Chayil, she's a soldier. B'shol yes, a woman's a soldier. In the army of Hashem, your Mama Sarah was the Mama. You know, the Mama Rivki, these were holy people. Respect a woman. You don't respect ladies. Only we respect ladies. How's that? You know? Okay, anyway. That's my vote. And it's true. It's a murder. It's the aside of everything. Because, anyway, so, let's get back to my latest Memphis. I had a guy with panic attacks. I gave him a bracha, they disappeared. I gave a guy, left a message on my machine. You give me a bracha, you become a chassan. 2 weeks later, I met my basheta. You could do the same thing. Just give brachas. Anybody could do it. Give a bracha. Now, I am on a campaign to go out. And I did my research. Rabbi Aaron Kotler believed in leaving Lakewood. He told Rav Shlomo Per's father, leave. And he says, I want to learn. You could learn, but not by me. Out of Lakewood. After 5 years, everybody out. If anybody wants to challenge me about that, that's you now. All those people who don't go, and I was one of them, I can't have tinus on them because you don't have a chinuch. Come rein, make yourself at home. You don't have a chinuch. You're going to make a revolution over here. You're going to talk about, I once did this for Rבים. That was the most fun I ever had in my life. It was the one time that someone got up and heckled me in public. I still care, sweet memories. I spoke in front of 150 top-notch Mitzvah here in Lakewood. I found out later, the #1 place. I don't know if it was Punkt, they were top guys either way. From that yeshivas, they were super top kids. And I was telling them, you got to go out. And then this kid got up. By the way, when I say that, if there's Bachrim there, I say, any Bachrim here? Please leave the room. Don't you dare listen to Zikr Ram. You have one black Gemara and nothing else. Don't listen to Mendel Zikr Ram. It's not for you. You get messed up for life. Zikr Ram. You're crazy? I've done that. I've spoken to fathers and the son snooping and listening. I says, can you please leave? This is X-rated. They're not allowed to hear it seriously. They'll never learn a word. Zikr Ram, Zikr Ram. So I do that. And now I was speaking to Bachram. However, my Rebbe told me to do it. And I listened to my Rebbe. Although I avoid being controversial, in this area, my Rebbe said, yes, I have to speak to him again, see if he's still... But I feel I'm accomplishing. People are calling me up, and they're starting to go out, and they're doing things they never dreamed they'd do before. It's doing wonders. Now, while I spoke, this is the best part of it, I want to tell you. While I spoke, a younger man who wasn't supposed to be there, it was strictly for Bachrim, and there were yeshivas were there, and I was there. But he popped up, and he's real hardcore, one of those. Das ist nicht richtig. Phew, Hashem, Nagila v'nischavai. We've been hiding. I need guys like you. Das ist nicht richtig. You darf no lernen. Oh, now you I like. I promise you, it's exactly what I did. Now, before I spoke to the kids, I told them 10 times over, I'm giving you seeds. Don't you dare take me serious. And I was concerned about it also, because I taka don't believe in Bachram, but they better get seeds now. It's going to be too late. I said 30 years from now, baloney. Rabban, after 5 years of learning in Kail, he sent them out. You know that? I didn't know it was so. 5 years, that's a fact. I spoke to Mayor Hirschquist. I spoke to Bella Bass. I spoke to Reb Hirschman. I spoke to all the old Lakewooders, every one of them. It's Pashut. Rabban did not believe in sitting around. But I'm going to stick up for them because I was one of them who didn't listen to Reb Shnea and Reb Nosson and Reb Yehuda Jacobs who were begging us to leave. And I said, is Reb Shnea going off the derech? I said, well, you think something wrong with me? I'm not holding my learning? Why are you telling me these? I promise you, that's how I felt. He wanted me to go to L.A. He wanted me to go to Adelphia. There was a Stelia, whatever. And what was the third place? Toronto. 3 different places that they had been, they're talking to the wall. I'm not moving. I'm molasses just like everyone else. We don't move. The only thing that got me to be a Malamed was Novhardok. I went to France, and Gershon got a hold of me, and as that site, you're just sitting by yourself learning. And he started giving me the whole history. Novhardok for sure was going. And he started showing me day hold and day everybody. Go out. I so need you. It's with you. You're sitting, well, I'm a nice kid. And there's a steiging and learning. He was fire. Anyway. But I'm still melitz. Why am I melitz? Because if you don't have a chinuch, it's also to have tightness on people. Whatever you're doing is perfect. Don't listen to me. It's perfect. If you're ready to change, come along. We're going to Pesach. That's our second trip. I plan to do this forever. Not only, we'll see what's going to happen from it. But to me, it's the biggest Kiddush Hashem. Get away from Lakewood. Help people! What's with you? These people are starving. Mayor Hirschquist told me. You need Askama to do these things. It's Pekuach Nefesh. I was once davening for a woman. She was my Rebbe's, my Rebbe's wife. She had Yenamaisa. And she was in a lot of pain. And it broke me to pieces. I got a minyan together and Tel Shimshin. We said, God still him. I was screaming. She got better right away. I had a Talmud who fell off a bike, who I visited in the hospital together with Rabbi Gelbach. He was out of my class already for a couple of years. A sweetie, sugar, and he was in the hospital. Shem Yerachim. It was a shrek what happened to him. His life was in Yisurim Mavis. I got a minyan together. We stormed the heavens. The next day, he had Nisim Guluyim because it ate me up alive. When you really care, it's different. Listen, if a Yid never kept Shabbos in his life, he has a billion times more pain than all the Gashmistic pain in the world. You know that? You know how much pain his neshama is screaming. I never had tefillin. He don't chop. He's busy with his dog and his cat and his girlfriend and his chavesfas, his motorbike, his mishigas and his goldfish, his canary. He's crazy. He's halavai. He's married with a family. He's a halba guy. They're in a different world. These people. They don't know what Yiddishkeit is, and their yesham is very, 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 very often they chap. They need more in their lives. Very often. Now we're sitting here, steiging and learning. Now look, what kind of punim does it have when people come to me day and night? Now I'm having trouble with my parnasa. Next time I meet the guy, half a year later, parnasa included, but my wife lately. Next time, my son, my this, me. I have guys coming to me for 20 years, and they're always themselves. And if this guy can't stand other people screaming and learning while they have kin, there are all kinds of problems going on. It's not only Lakewood, all over the world. Eretz Yisrael, they give Chassidus. Everyone's in the same boat. They're all into themselves. Now I'm going to tell you a story. It's my favorite. I was standing right there when I heard it, when the guy's wife called me up. I know the guy. This guy's daughter was getting engaged, And at the engagement, he got a call from Binghamton. One of the people who was Makarev had a ski accident, and he's in a coma, and he's finished. He got it in the middle of his daughter's engagement. He got into the car, he went off 4 hours. I don't know how is Binghamton from here. What?
About 4 hours.
4 hours. He goes to Binghamton. Comes there, the guy is half dead, mamish. Goes over to the father. Tells the father, did you ever wear tefillin? Never. Oh, phylacteries? I have never put that on in my life. You know what phylacteries are? That's tefillin. Come, let me put some phylacteries on. Roll up your sleeve, and he puts on the shell. Yeah, say, Baruch, Ator. How many says it? Okay, good. Now put on the head. But yes, I'll help you. Say again, Baruch, Ator. So listen to this true story. I heard it I was standing right there, right where this younger man, right behind Rabbi Yosef, right there. Oh, I forgot to thank you. By the way, thank you, Rabbi Jaffe. Thank you, Torah Anytime. Thank you, Shabbos Hashgacha Pratis, and thank you, Kala Lashit, and Achan Rachachava. Thank Jack for all the good work he's doing for us. I'm joking, but I want to thank the Abishter. I was standing right there, and she told me the story, how her husband went to Binghamton. As soon as he put on those phylacteries, the boy woke up, and he lived happily ever after. And the family is kvelling that the father missed the daughter's own turn, because the daughter has a chinuch of going out for Klal Yisrael. They are proud of this stuff. They're not, we do by us. We got to be mechazik each other. Do you go to my simcha? I'll go to your simcha. My simcha. You can't do that. Your own brother, your own sister, and you have to. No, you go travel three hours because your nephew's bar mitzvah. They need chizuk. Everyone needs chizuk. I want to tell you something. I know an 85-year-old woman who cried to me, a gorchash of a woman, that when she was a kid, she didn't get the love she needed, whatever, so she's all tzabrach until today. She's a chashuva lady. And I tell myself, lady, you didn't get love. You want to make up for that? Give love to others. It will take care of all your problems. It's the most fun in the universe. Give. Well, you got to worry for the rest of your life what they do. My father, my mommy, my this, they didn't understand me. You'll be busy with therapists till Mashiach. You want to knock away, in the Novhardok they said, you want to get rid of all your bad midos, Zikar Rabim. Reb Nosson said, he saw the worst cases. Zikar Rabim, I am my own chevra. I don't know if some of them want me to. I know a younger man, he was a regular visitor in the emergency room. I know people who have no younger light, that they were different. I saw in Los Angeles the same people that I saw in Lakewood. As soon as they were in the Kyle Los Angeles, same guy. Hey, he looks so much better. He's smiling, he's relaxed. All of them. I was in Australia, in Melbourne. I don't recognize. Real quiet guy suddenly. Hey, he's a ganze Knacker, and he invites big people to his house for Shabbos. You know what it does for you when you go and do for others? Suddenly all your issues are in the garbage. You're too busy. That's what I did. Do you know how many issues I'm capable of having? You know how many issues? Who has time for my issues? I'm busy. Your issues, and he wants me to stop. I get the message. Listen, I want to tell the Olam, if you want to start small, put out a kuntris, all my chevra, make a small vad, and be the biggest balgaivanik that ever lived. Without my gaiva, I never would have gone out of town. Never. It's all my reckless gaiva that doesn't mind bizyanis. I still say, was it a smash success? I hold so. What a smash? I don't even ask. It was successful. I paskin. And I would tell you, if you got bizyanis, you got 100 times moschar. And Rabbaran Cutler, when he came to White Plains, it was a dying cattle, the only thing America had. And they just lost a Gadol B'Yisrael Mamish, and who wants the job? Everybody wanted to say Yashir, but the yeshiva has to go on. They said, Rabbi, would you like to say Yashir? Yes. How about money? I'll do the money. He said, I'll do the money. He resigned himself to a lifetime of bizoy bizyonis. He was a Gadol Adar. They threw him $5 bills. They kept him waiting till Mashiach. They ignored him. These Gvirim, they didn't know. He was in his own world. Rabbi, they didn't relate to Americans. They didn't even know what I'll tell you stories where they thought he was out of his mind. And he was a kanoah. He let you have it. If you said something wrong, somebody told him that he gave a lot of money. Gus Dave Stern. You heard of him? The guy gave Stern college. The schmoozer Rabbi was planning to give thousands and thousands to Lakewood. And Lakewood needed the money. They were I gave money to whatchamacallit? What's it called there? The Heichel Shleima, and I gave here. Rabbi had what? Heichel Shleima? Now there was an interpreter. He told the Bacher, Zogtem, nicht gut getan. Bliskerov, ich leg da keine Warte. Nicht gut getan, Zogtem. The Bacher says, yes. And this Stern's looking like, what does this rabbi want? Because he didn't understand. The rabbi, yes, what is he saying? It looks like very concerned. Well, so Rabbi noticed the way he was in a sugar coating. Nee, zog it wie ich zog. Zog ihm stark, ist gut getan, Briskelov, ich da kein. Guess what happened? And after he says, I'm exalted, Rabbi faffed the moon. He couldn't care less. I didn't expect a dime from him. He knew this. You do that to a guy, thousands of Lakewood starved. They need money for electricity, for food, for everything. Lakewood's falling apart. And he finally got some money, a big fish. Gus Dave Stern his money. And Rabban, he's good getan. You should know, Reb Kalman Goldberg was a Novandig Kazakh. He said that Reb Aaron Cutler reminded him more of the Alta and the Novandig than anyone else. It was the same, very, very similar. Not some, I don't know it's sushi, but a lot of similarities. Anyway, so later on, he's in the office. Reb Aaron couldn't care less. He lived with the Abishter. The whole Lakewood is Reb Aaron's Bizyanis. Someone said that, one of the Einikloch, a big Rosh Yeshiva here in Lakewood. He said, Barabim, I think of Reb Aaron's yard site. Lakewood is built on Reb Aaron's Bizyanis. Rabbi Sai, join Reb Aaron. He's sitting in the biggest Olam Abba. He was Mavaz himself at Teda. You ready? By the way, Gus Dave Stern called him up. A couple of weeks later, he calls him up. Sagt ich habe nicht gezeigt, ich halte my mind. Sagt I'm not changing my mind. Sagt finish the gear. Says the name. We'll give him the geld. And he said to one of his friends, he said, I still don't understand that, Rabbi, but it seems like it was very important to him. But now, Rabbi said, my son from Eretz Yisrael, you can give me $1, whatever you want. Is a beautiful Sefer on Shuvah. I just want to show that I have learning in my house too. I'm not only Musa. So if anybody wants to buy one, anything, it's Gavaldi. My son's a Lamdan from Kiryat Seif. He's the biggest master against Kiryat Seif, and he's my son also. It's a Bzundar Zah. So anybody want one of these? Whatever you want. Whatever you want. $5, $10. It's a deal. Perfect. Have one. And you'll be box the Lamda. My son is very good. Kipzara Matzach Haimish. This is the new Novandig. Kipzara. Oh, Dazai. Thank you so much. Wow. Let's go. Out of way.
I'll pay on credit.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You guys are perfect. No? You got 2 left? 3 left? Let's go. My sons. Anybody want? Out of way. Thank you so much. Look at that. We made it. Oh, Dazai. So tell my son it's sold out. You guys are so nice. Sold out. Done deal. See that? Beautiful. Now this, if somebody left this here, everybody dumps everything by me. You say, Mendel, you can dump whatever you want one. I have no idea what it is. Looks okay to me. If you want one, take one. It's free. Anybody? Okay. And I give everybody a bracha that this Purim, everybody should get tight shikah. That's my bracha. I should see double. I'm joking.